Mouth.
Paris, what do you think?
I think this is fake news. This is not a news story.
Tonight you said, fake it till you make it. And in my business, there's just no faking it. I mean, if we tried, we couldn't fake it. We wouldn't think of faking it.
Forgive me, it's simply a TV analogy when you're on TV and you haven't learned your craft yet.
I've been on TV for 12 years. I've never said fake it till you make it. I have to say goodbye.
Understood.
Politicians and the media were no longer able, and frankly, many of them were no longer willing to stand behind the lie. And when CNN tried, it got slammed down hard by the NRA's Wayne LaPierre.
Wow.
CNN staged a fake demonstration with Broward County, Florida Sheriff Ken Jenney using an AK-47 machine gun, claiming it was on the list of banned semi-autos.
That's right. It's an old Chinese AK-47 that has been banned.
And that is one of the banned weapons, the 19 currently banned weapons.
Now this is automatic.
Wow.
Not true. Machine guns have effectively been banned by the National Firearms Act of 1934. But CNN didn't get away with it. Within hours, the NRA's Wayne LaPierre exposed CNN's lies for what they were.
Your reporter faked that story yesterday. It deliberately misread the viewer. There's no way it could be true, and I challenge CNN to defend it.
Well, we're not going to continue this interview because our reporter did not fake.
Because you don't want the truth. Right. The truth matters. The public needs to hear the truth, and the truth is every police officer on the street knows it. There's not a dime worth of difference between the guns on the ban list and the guns off the ban list in terms of their performance characteristics, and I challenge CNN again to defend that story to its viewers because it's not true.
What do you say
all day yesterday, you misled the viewer.
Here's the correction CNN aired 3 days later.
We reviewed that demonstration and one on another CNN program and decided that a more detailed report would better explain this complex issue. Here's CNN's John Zarella.
This is a semi-automatic firearm. It instantly self-loads and fires one bullet for each trigger pull.
CNN found another sheriff, Gary No, a retired 30-year police officer and assistant chief in Oakland Park, Florida, to set the record straight.
It's exactly the same gun.
As more rain continues to fall today, NBC's Michelle Kaczynski, I guess she's in the canoe, is in Wayne, New Jersey this morning.
Hey,
Michelle, good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, obviously we're getting a nice break from the rain, but not the flooding. This is essentially now a part of the Passaic River in this neighborhood. It rushed in yesterday through the streets.
Michelle, are these holy men walking on top of water? What's going on here?
Why walk when you can ride, you guys? When you have a ride like this, why would you want to walk?
Don, this is a fake news story, in my opinion, because the underlying
Paris,
assumption
thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks,
everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Good night, all.
Thanks, Don.
In Saudi Arabia. CNN's Carl Rochelle is here with me, just came up. Carl, I know we can't be very specific given these restrictions, but within those parameters, what did you see?
Well, what I saw, I didn't see anything hit. I looked almost straight above us. There was a vapor trail coming from my right to my left, and there's a cloud of something. It looks like it might have been an explosion, a cloud. I'd say you take it. Okay. All right. My apologies for please putting on a gas mask. There hasn't been any gas dropped here that we could tell. You smell anything? No. You may smell some of the fumes from a missile exhaust going off.
We asked the U.S. Army to take us on an air mission with them. They accepted. Just before we're able to make our drop, radio traffic makes clear this routine mission is running into trouble.
We took fire on the way in. We currently are not under fire. I say again, not under fire, but we look for some type of security. Over.
We quickly make our drop and then turn southwest. Suddenly, without knowing why, we learn we've been ordered to land in the desert. On the ground, we learned the Chinook ahead of us was almost blown out of the sky. That hole was made by a rocket-propelled grenade, or RPG, fired from the ground. It punched cleanly through the skin of the ship, but amazingly, it didn't detonate. On the ground, we learned the Chinook ahead of us was almost blown out of the sky. The Chinook ahead of us.
We were the northernmost Americans in Iraq. We were going to drop some bridge portions across the Euphrates so the 3rd Infantry could cross on them. 2 of our 4 helicopters were hit by ground fire, including the one I was in.
No kidding.
RPG and AK-47.
What altitude were you hit at?
We were only at 100 feet doing 100 forward knots because we had these massive pieces of bridge beneath us on slings.
What happens the minute everybody realizes you've been hit?
We figure out how to land safely, and we did. 2 of our 4 helicopters were hit by ground fire, including the one I was in. I want to apologize. I said I was traveling in an aircraft that was hit by RPG fire. I was instead in a following aircraft. We all landed after the ground fire incident.
Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. There's almost a sense downtown in New York behind me, down by the World Trade Centers, of just an area completely closed off as the rescue workers try to do their job. But this isn't the first building that has suffered as a result. We know that part of the Marriott Hotel next to the World Trade Center also collapsed as a result of this huge amount of falling debris from 110 floors of the 2 twin towers of the World Trade Center. As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that there's an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city, but completely disappeared now, and New York is still unable to take on board what has happened to them today. But New York, very much a city still in chaos. The phones are not working properly, the subway lines are not working properly, and we know that down there near the World Trade Center there are 3 schools that are being turned into triage centers for emergency treatment, and I know that over in New York Harbor...
1/3. So the Electoral College, you're somebody who wants to blow that up. You want to get rid of the Electoral College.
Just count the votes. It's ridiculous. Hillary, you're a lawyer. Walk in, go to the Supreme Court. I believe in you, Hillary. I've been to Rwanda. I've been to your hospital in Rwanda. I've seen all the good you've done. I believe in you. Women need you. Minorities need you. I need you. Chicago needs you. We all need you. This country needs you to stand up and walk into the Supreme Court and say 1 vote equals 1 vote. What's wrong with that? What's the debate?
You can definitely feel his passion. There's other people out here who feel the same way. At one point, you had people who were blocking this road. Chicago police moved in. Everything has remained peaceful. And like I said, Don, as you see, thousands of people still continue to gather. But like you heard this man, very passionate about the idea. He doesn't want Hillary to stop.
Yeah, Brian, you know I used to live there, and I know that guy. That's John Gurkovic. He actually went to Africa with me as a cameraman. But anyway, that's another story. All right, thank you, John. Thank you very much, Ryan. I want to get back to Jason. Jason, you have been covering the Trump team tonight. These protests are right in front of Trump Tower. Fake news is when you put out a story to intentionally deceive someone and you know that it is wrong. I don't know of anyone who has put out a story in the mainstream media that I can think of right now.
10 people were killed, though there is one report now saying 11 people were killed in that blast, but we know 10 members of one family. Also 2 media centers built. Whoa! Well, that was a rather large explosion. Yeah. That occurred, just look out here, I can't actually see where the impact of that was. It's actually set off a number of car alarms, but that was probably the largest explosion that we've heard just in the past really in the past hour. There have been a number of explosions in the last hour or 2, but that one was pretty loud. We actually, the rockets continue to be fired from Gaza toward Israel. About 3 or 4 hours ago, there was actually quite a large rocket that was fired very close to, it went very close to this building where we are right now. Whoa!
Take him now, take him now. Take him now. Somebody take him now. You can take him.
Hi, good. Thank you. Yeah. Such a sweet little guy. Yeah. All right, well, you're blessed. Yeah. Brian, your husband, is blessed. Anders is blessed.
Brian,
Yeah, Brian, you like Brian, huh? That's your dad.